Washington, President Truman honors 3 servicemen for heroism in Korea. Corporal Rudy Hernandez received the same award for attacking an onrushing enemy force, though wounded and alone, and killing 6 with his bayonet after running out of ammunition.
Rudy was my younger brother. We were both born in Colton on my grandfather's home. My grandfather and my grandmother both came from Mexico because of the Revolutionary War. Colton was just a little town. You knew everybody. You went to school, you came home, you went to church on Sundays, you went to catechism on Fridays. There was a law that was being passed that you had to separate the browns from the whites. My dad never went to school. He worked from the time he was little till the time he passed away. He just did anything to support his family. We were just very close to each other. He was like my twin brother. He was a kidder. He always used to kid me or scare me. I was a puny little kid, and he was a husky. He was always husky. We left Colton, and then we moved to Fresno because there was no work for my dad here. He had a family to support. I was only 9, so Rudy had to be 7. When we moved to Fresno and we were living out in the countryside, they asked my dad if he would take over a ranch. He ran a farm by himself with his family. We were grown up enough to work in the fields. In those days, everybody worked in the fields. You didn't have to have a permit like you do. We worked 24/7. We had apricots, peaches, nectarines, cotton, grapes above. We worked, we ate, we slept, worked, ate, slept, went to school. That was our routine. Rudy was never a laid-back kid. When he was home, he used to work all the time. He didn't care what it was. He would go to work. He'd go to school, and then after school, he'd go to work. My dad left us. My mom had never worked, never. And she worked in the house, of course, because she had a big family. But she never worked outside of the house. And when my dad left, I was pulled out of school to take care of the little ones, which was Rudy, David, Tom, Rose, and John. He joined the service when I got married. Got mad and he joined up. My mother said it was my fault because I had left him. He was 17. He had his training in Fort Ord. And then when he qualified to go into the paratroopers, they sent him to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And then he went to Fort Benning. He loved that place. He did a lot of the jumps that he did. He had to complete so many jumps. And then he would do the jumps for the guys, and the guys would pay him $50 every time he did a jump. So those $50 went to my mom. Yeah, he was a hustler. It wasn't for him because he wasn't a drinker or a smoker or anything like that. But he'd do anything for my mom.
The White House becomes world news headquarters as U.S. government leaders, congressional, military, and diplomatic, confer with President Truman on the hostilities in Korea. Tension runs high. U.S. planes and U.S. ships are ordered into action. Based in Japan.
When he left to Korea, they took him from San Francisco.
Striking distance of Korea. In action so far.
He was there a long time before he got hurt. When they got into battle, well, that was another different story. He said that they were on a hill and the enemy was approaching them and they were called to retreat. And he says, just about the time that they told us to draw back, I got hit He said, I thought to myself, if I'm going to die here, I'm going to take a few of them with me. And he did. The next day, when they came by and they saw him, the medic that found him was putting him in a bag already. He's dead. He was putting him in the bag, he moved his hand. And they said, this one's alive. He just moved. They evacuated him right away. We didn't hear from him for months. We knew something was wrong. What had happened is when he got hurt, they couldn't identify him. It took months to find out from the fingerprints who he was. And when they did, he was already in San Francisco at Letterman Hospital. When he came back, he was a mess. He was a big mess. He couldn't talk. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't walk either. He went through so much trauma, I would say. We kept saying, he's not going to make it. After the first surgery, we didn't think he was going to make it. 10 hours in surgery. No. But he did. He was so stubborn. You're not going to tell me I'm not going to make it. I'm going to make it, whether you like it or not. He was determined that he was going to learn how to talk, and he learned how to talk. That was him. The one that gave him his medal was Truman. To him, it didn't matter. He says, big deal. He never boasted about it, but he took care of his medal. What he would get mad is when people would tell him, oh, you're the Medal of Honor winner, huh? No, he said, no, I didn't win anything. We had one guy come and try to take it. He said, sell me your Medal of Honor and I'll pay you so much. I was there that time. I said, you don't sell your Medal of Honor, you gotta earn it. The generals would salute him. Everybody would salute him because he was Medal of Honor, and you salute a Medal of Honor. They would come in and they would say, what is your name? And he would go, Rodolfo Perez Hernandez. What? Rodolfo Perez Hernandez. What? I already told you, my name is Rodolfo Perez Hernandez.
I'm Corporal Rodolfo Perez Hernandez. I served with the 187th Airborne Regimental Combat Team in Korea.
He did some speeches that you wouldn't believe it. He went to schools, universities, and spoke about his experience. I'm very proud of him. I was so proud of him. Not because of his medal, because somebody said that to me. You must be very proud of your brother because he has a medal. I said, no, I'm very proud of him because he is my brother, not because of his medal, you know. And that's true. That's true.